Hey everyone, it is Kari here on behalf of Silent Podcasts with my co-host Katie. Katie, how are you this evening?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. I am not in a blizzard. I think that's only one of us though.
Yes, I
How is
am in
the
a
snow
blizzard.
in New York going?
It's okay. I mean, I don't have to leave my house, so it's fine for me. But there's definitely a lot of, it's like a footish, maybe a little more out there. It's pretty to look at until it gets like slushy and brown and gross.
Yeah, I have a friend who's like a national meteorologist, and
Oh,
he has
cool.
this is like his wet dream. Like he's been posting
Amazing.
about this like nonstop on Twitter, which is really the only reason I know. He's like, "Oh my god, I wish," because he's in Boston, so like I think they're still getting snow, but I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
they're
think
getting the
it's
same
bad.
amount that you guys are. That
I think they might have more.
oh, that yeah, but he is just like he's going nuts about this for the last like 4 days on social media. So
Well,
um
congrats to him for his Super
yeah,
Bowl.
this is his Super Bowl. Really, he's a Jets fan, so he'll never have an
Oh,
actual
yeah, he'll
Super Bowl.
never.
This is his Super Bowl. But we are here for the Cool Water Show where we're talking about the Real Housewives universe. And when I say universe this week, I truly mean it because we are genuinely all over the place with the Housewives and what they're doing in their real lives and their TV lives. And
Yep.
we're gonna span a spectrum here.
It's it's a broad universe. It's hard to
Mm-hmm.
tell what's happening on TV and what's happening in real life. These days, it's like a little crazy.
It's absolutely nuts. Like we got
Yeah.
news um today about one of our housewives. We've gotten some
Yep.
like non-housewives reality TV news, but includes housewives. Like
Hmm.
we've got more racism, which is a kind of a staple throughout the Housewives franchise,
Yep.
but in a different form this time. Like we got a little bit of everything for you. So I hope you are ready for both TV and real life drama because it's coming in hot.
Sure
Um,
is.
First and foremost, I think we need to talk about Jenny Wynn. So
I
I
agree.
I would pour one out for her, but
Eh,
she doesn't
she's
deserve
not
it.
worth the liquid. Yeah.
Right. So for those of you who don't know, it we had some posts from Genuine's old Facebook, like she deleted it thinking that um no one was keeping tabs on her, of basically just like memes and yeah, like bad memes of um racism, like
Yep.
kind of political tropes that also dealt like they go into racism,
Yep.
some just like a bit of everything. Like I felt like I was looking at my uncle's Facebook because this is like exactly when I'm scrolling through, I'm like this could be genuine or this could be my uncle. It's one and the same. Um, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with being a Republican, but there's a difference between a Republican and being a racist Republican.
Ye-
And we saw some of that. Just
Oh
in
yeah.
conclusion, it surfaced. You
Yeah. It's
sent
like
me
yeah.
like what was your first reaction when you were reading through these?
Honestly, it's like you can compare it to every single awful like post you could ever imagine. She posted it. Like every single stereotypical racist, terrible Facebook post, like she had one in there. And there's anti-vax, there's anti-democratic stuff, there's anti-blackness, there's racism everywhere. There's like huge assault rifles in her photos. I mean, it's like check the box. It's like a bingo card. It's like we all have bingo because it's like we have a full card of bingo at this
Mm-hmm.
point of all of like the terrible things that she posted. So when I read it, honestly, some of it truly made me sick to my stomach because it was so truly disgusting. Like everything that she said was actually disgusting. And we've had some pretty terrible housewives on the show before, like Ramona and Luann in blackface and Kelly Dodd just generally being herself and existing. I don't think any of them are anywhere close to as bad as some of these posts were on Jenny's Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And they really took me by surprise because her main storyline, well, part of her storyline this season is her issue with Mary and Mary making racially insensitive remarks to her, which I want to say does not minimize anything that Mary said. Everything that Mary said is still terrible and inappropriate and racist. But this kind of sheds a new light into this like feud that feels like it came out of nowhere to me with Mary. Like she's starting a fight with the only black woman on the show over seemingly kind of nothing. Like it feels like it started over nothing.
Mm-hmm. And that's So I saw a tweet from someone like in our community that basically was like, Mary knew.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and that does make me wonder if it's not just Mary that knew though, like, or did Mary know? Like, is Mary, I don't know, Mary's reckless on social media. She's probably on Facebook. Like, but how many of the rest of them were her Facebook friends? Because, like, who is she originally friends with, supposedly? It's Lisa, right?
She's originally friends with Lisa Barlow, and Lisa Barlow is tagged in photos on that Facebook account. So there was a
Ooh.
lot of proof. These all came out, these surfaced on Reddit, and then they kind of like exploded. And
Mhm.
the person who posted them on Reddit went through and like took like screen grabs or like screen videos of themselves like going through the page to prove that they're real. And there are pictures of Jenny tagged with Lisa Barlow on this account, like out to dinner or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine that Lisa wouldn't know, but it's also hard to imagine that any of these women wouldn't know because if you're going to the lengths of posting these things on Facebook and believing them to the extent where like that's all you post and you're so adamant about it, it's hard to believe that that like doesn't seep into your real life and only exists on social media.
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely agree, and it just is kind of, again, something we've kind of talked about, like, we see 43 minutes a week of these women, and you can tell that certain things kind of feel off limits to talk about,
Mhm.
and this clearly has to be. Then it also gets you kind of wondering, like, okay, well, what do the rest of them think? Because if they're not willing to, like, Meredith kind of shrugged over Mary's comment. Um, no one really stood up to Mary when
Right.
she made like the slanted eyes comment to Jenny. So I just have like so many questions of like, are they staying quiet because they know all the bullshit that Jenny's posted and what she believes in? So it's like, am I really gonna stand up for this woman? Or is it kind of like, let's just let this happen and play, like, turn a blind eye? Because I don't know, there's so much to it. Like, Jen Shaw did take a very direct stance against it
Mhm.
once Jenny was, I don't know if it was before Jenny was fired or after Jenny was fired, but I'd read that she's kind of like in a little bit of trouble with Bravo for being so direct about it, where like you're supposed to kind of like subtweet the situation, although there's
Mhm.
only one person currently being fired for racist online posts, so it's hard to subtweet that. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
It's
think that
so
the
many
Jen
questions.
I know, and I think the Jen Shaw of it all is like interesting because I think it's we should also talk about how long it took Bravo to actually respond because I feel like it was
Yes.
2 weeks ish they took to respond, and originally none of the housewives made any comments about it, and then I guess Bravo said you can comment on it, but you have to be vague because I guess they're in production of season 3 or like pre-production or something because I know they want to be filming during March because that's when Jen's trial is, assuming that
Hmm.
Jen is still on the show.
Yeah.
Um, all of the women made a statement. I think like Meredith made one, Heather made one. Jen was the only one that named Jenny in the
Hmm.
post and made the strongest statement out of all of them. So it's like unfortunate that we really can't root for Jen because she defrauds the elderly, but she's the
Yeah.
only one that's like really taking this like head on and really like addressing what the situation is while the rest of them are making these like little like vague Instagram posts. But then the rumors came out that Jen got fired before Jenny got fired because she mentioned Jenny by name. So then I think, people were kind of freaking out that like, why would they fire Jen and not Jenny? And it was just like a lot of back and forth. And Andy, I think, spoke about it on his radio show and was like, thank you for your patience. Like there are a lot of serious conversations happening, but the posts were disgusting. And then I think maybe like the next day or two, that's when Bravo made the announcement. But it took Bravo a very long time to address these posts. And it's just disappointing because there's been so much racism on Bravo that they do not address. There's right now on the current season of Below Deck, the chief stew, who is white, said the N word 2 or 3 times to in front of the only black woman on the show. So that happened. Bravo hasn't addressed it. There's also all the things that have happened on Real Houses of New York that never got addressed because they didn't have a reunion and they never made a post about it. It took
Hmm.
a really long time for some of the stuff in Dallas that took place with Tiffany Moon and what is that other girl? Who cares? Cameron Westcott, and her whole family essentially like doxing Tiffany Moon and like saying
Yeah.
anti Asian things to her. It's just like the whole thing. Like they are just very, very lax on how they address some of this stuff, and it just continues to be disappointing. Like there's so much room to do better and they just refuse to.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because they could have they could be like a leader, I guess, in terms of conversations about things like this
Mhm.
because it is happening. Like, I guess I think of like The Real World, which is one of the first reality TV
Mhm.
shows that really addressed topics like this head on, like whether it was racism, homophobia. There was like the season where someone had HIV, and that was a big
Yep.
topic. Like all these things that I think a reason that people appreciated the show is because it wasn't just like someone said the N-word and got away with it and that was it. And then maybe they like weren't allowed on the challenge afterwards. It is the fact that like they had to face the consequences, both of their housemates, and then like we didn't have
Mhm.
social media then. Like they have the opportunity to be like a more engaging version of that where
Right.
why is this happening? Why are we letting why are we letting someone on Below Deck use the N-word in front of a black person? Like, what are not it shouldn't happen not in front of a black person either, but
Exactly. It
like
shouldn't happen. Yeah.
period, it shouldn't happen. I just it why isn't Bravo being better? And because even at the lowest of lows that you're willing to accept, like those are still, in my opinion, societal norms that are being broken. Like, no one should be saying the N word that isn't allowed to. You know what I mean? Like, black people, it's your word. For the rest of us,
Exactly.
it is not. So why are we not having these conversations and taking action against them? It's so incredibly frustrating to just see it taking 2 weeks. And I thought I saw a statement that was like based off of your reactions to what Jenny had posted in the past. That's why
Right.
we're doing not like we take a hard stance as a company against this. It's like, oh, because enough of you got mad. We're not gonna allow
Right.
her on the show anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just very disappointing how they continuously just decide to handle some of these situations. And it's just, they have to do better. And I think this is why it's really important to have diversity all the way up to the top. And obviously, they don't have diversity up to the top because, I don't think that they would be handling these situations this way if they did. So I don't think it's just about casting. I think it's really just about, from the top to the bottom, where they need to just do better and have more diverse perspectives so they can make sure that one, how did this woman even get on the show in the first place? Like, how are you not checking her social media and seeing that these are her views? And like, two, how are we waiting 2 weeks before we make a statement? And then we're reprimanding some of the housewives, especially Jen, who has black men in her family who also went through something really traumatic on television where the police escorted them out of the home where Bravo shouldn't have even shown that, in my opinion. I know we talked about that. It's
Mhm.
like, she's the one that's getting in trouble for making a firm statement about it, not the woman who made all of these horrific posts.
So we have some people joining us, and they're asking who are we talking about. We are talking about Jenny Nguyen, former housewife of
Mhm.
Salt Lake City. If you are interested in seeing what she did, just search Jenny Nguyen. She's JENNIE, and you'll see all of her old Facebook posts that are incredibly racist, problematic. Like name the word, it
Yeah.
fits it.
Anything
Um,
awful you expect, she covers it in these posts.
yes. So she's fired. We will not be seeing her next season. But of
Part of me
course,
wishes they would edit her out of the show.
yeah,
They did it. They've done it on Below Deck. They edited that guy Pete off the show when he posted racist imagery on his Instagram. They completely just removed him from the show. And we know like the challenge has done it in the past. Get her
mhm.
off my TV. I don't even want to see her. She's disgusting.
Do you think that she's important enough in some sort of storyline that she has to be included? Otherwise, there's gaps because we know that they gave the cast the last like what 5-ish episodes to watch before reunion. So like they really geared up for these last few episodes and of the importance of I think what we
Maybe.
see that hot mic. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's something that
Maybe.
they can't. Not saying that they shouldn't, but I would just wonder if there's a reason why they haven't.
It's totally possible. I just I just don't. It's like kind of sours the whole show for me a little bit just to see her there, but we only have a couple episodes left to go. So what are
Yeah.
we gonna do?
Of course, when you do something wrong, you either give a notes app apology, or you go on Instagram Live. And Jenny chose the latter. So both of us admit that we didn't watch it.
Yes.
And before we go on, just so that we're catering to our live audience, so the question is, did she say these and overall prejudiced comments on the show? No.
No.
But
quite the opposite, actually.
yeah, she had comments made towards her, and we were throughout this season, we've kind of wondered, like, what is Mary, who is a Black woman on the show, like, her beef with Jenny, and Jenny is Asian, so we were wondering, like, there's got to be more to this. Why is this popping up out of nowhere? And we just recently speculated, by recently I mean within the last 15 minutes, of, well, did Mary and the others know and see but these Facebook posts that Jenny had been putting up through like 2020? And that's why there was this unknown like anger or reasoning for anger towards her. I don't know. It could be it. We aren't sure, but so she didn't say anything on the show, but it has very much come out to the public.
Yeah. And I think it's important to say, too, that these posts were happening until, I think even Jen Shaw mentioned it on her Instagram or something the other day, up until December 2020. So they're very recent, and they cover things from the vaccine to George Floyd to a lot of other things that, obviously you can tell that she has really bad opinions on. And, I think maybe she has. I know the questions coming in about was stuff being said to Mary behind the scenes from Jenny. Totally possible. Or maybe she just felt a vibe. I think Jenny has also been called out for using a black scent around Mary, and she denies having one, just saying that's the way I talk. And we see it on the show. She does have put on this accent when she's speaking to Mary, who's the only Black woman on the show. So I think it could be very well that she is making these microaggressions that Mary's picking up on that maybe some of the other women are not. And that's where some of this like underlying feud is coming from.
There's also confusion because Mary has also made derogatory comments towards Black men as a Black woman.
Yes, she
or
has,
Black
yes.
woman, in addition to calling looking like a Mexican thug. So she's
also terrible. Let's not get it twisted. Like, she's also terrible.
Mary's not I don't want to say, she's no angel here. She's done her own problematic things, but we have been confused this whole season as to, like, why is Mary just have no tolerance for Jenny? Like, Mary hosted an event earlier. She refused to invite Jenny to it. And then even this last episode, she was like, you're not worth my time. Like, I don't respect you. She did apologize for it, but
I was like, yes, Mary. Just because we had already known. I was like, okay, yes, tell her.
So there's definitely, like we've said, some things that we just don't know what's going on. And as entertaining and interesting that this season has been, it's just also been kind of confusing because, like, things come out online that you kind of have to follow the narrative both on the show and like on Reddit, Instagram, and Twitter to like genuinely feel like you have an understanding of what's going on. And even then, I'm not sure if either of us feel like we genuinely understand what's going on.
Yeah, it's very muddy.
So in Jenny's Instagram Live, first and foremost, she had a Black man sitting next to her, maybe to show that she's not racist, which
she has a singular Black friend.
Yeah, bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for you. So I have a Reddit post who this person did God's work and summarized it for us. I'm going to go through some key things. I'm not going to read everything to you, but she said the old posts are from 2020 and she takes accountability, whether it was her or someone else, because an overlying theme to this Instagram Live is that it wasn't her, it was her social media manager, to which, like, check your social media every once in a while then to make sure they're not saying dumb shit, if that's true, but I don't know if we believe that. She called her post disgusting. She is proud to be a Republican and proud of her political beliefs. She says she has a freedom of speech and freedom to choose. She supports cops. She says there's good and bad cops. She says she's not racist. So Michael is her friend that's there and has been her friend for years and always shows up for her. She also put up an Instagram post recently basically saying the same thing of like, thanks for always being there for me, Michael. She grew up in a very heavily Vietnamese populated area. And she says Michael has been educating her on Black Lives Matter. He's Black and gay, so he knows firsthand the struggles, and he backs that Jenny's not racist. Everyone makes mistakes except Jesus. Valid point. Where that seems like a bumper sticker, like one of those billboards you see like driving through like fucking Indiana and Ohio, like, you know, just the middle of nowhere. So she said she's against the rioting and looting, but that doesn't make her racist. And let's see, anything else that seems the person doing the commenting writes, guys, I want to turn this off so bad. She says she has trauma and she's having a hard time dealing with that as well.
Sounds like a lot of excuses.
Yeah. He says again that Michael is opening her eyes and her family's eyes on Black Lives Matter. It took a while to understand, but she's picked up a lot. She's questioning the timing of the posts becoming public. Okay. She's owning her behavior and her team's behavior. And someone asked, like, well, why did you have a team in 2020? Because, like, you weren't.
That's my question. She's not a public figure.
Yeah, and she said she was running full-time businesses and was a full-time mom and wife and did not have time to be on social media, so she hired people to do it and she trusted them.
No, I don't believe that to be true at all.
So, yeah, that's a very...
This is a personal Facebook. It's not a business Facebook that this would be. It's her personal Facebook. So why do you need to hire somebody to run your personal social media if you're busy with your businesses?
Yeah,
they would run your business social media, not your personal social media. And their social media managers wouldn't be posting your own personal or their own personal thoughts on your personal page. So fuck off with that. Kick rocks, Jenny. All of this is bullshit, full of excuses.
Katie's acting like you don't have a ghostwriter for your tweets, okay? Like, I know.
If I paid a ghostwriter for my tweets, I would hope that I would be getting more likes and that they'd be a little funnier. That's all I'm saying.
So that was her live. I don't think that anything came of that like we weren't expecting, you know. She says she's owning it but also blaming the social media team that she unnecessarily had in 2020 because she was not a Real Housewife yet.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like owning it to me. If it's just saying that you didn't actually do it, then you're actually not owning it at all. Whatever. I'm not going to give her any more of my thought, but I will say, do we think that Mary, whose tagline is, if you come for me, I'll send Jesus after you, sent Jesus after Mary, and that's why, sent Jesus after Jenny, and that's why these posts came out? Like, is she telling the truth?
She's God, so probably. Yes.
Maybe she is. Maybe we should start listening to what she's got to say, because maybe she's onto something here.
Yo, let's
first Jen has a feud with Jen Shaw has a feud with her. Now she's potentially going to jail for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And now Jenny has a feud with her and lost her job and had all of these racist, awful posts come out about her that she posted. Not about her.
Yeah. I like Whitney. Maybe and so lying. I hope Whitney's apologizing for everything she's done right now.
Good luck to you, Whitney.
Yeah.
Good luck. Do some atonement.
Yeah, I think you're right. So
starting to believe that Mary might actually be God.
Yeah. And she's got a direct line to Jesus, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Wow. So an area of concern for me, and I don't know if you've thought about this, and I saw a tweet that was like posted on Reddit that also kind of made me think about it. The tweet was, currently writing a letter to Joe Biden asking him to pardon Jen Shaw so we don't lose the last woman of color on Salt Lake City.
Yeah, well, there's no confirmation that Mary's not coming back. I know she skipped the reunion, but she said she would be open to having a sit down with Andy. And it doesn't sound like anything's been like officially said that she isn't going to come back. So maybe they'll see that like she's actually bringing some things to the show and will bring her back? Question mark, maybe. I don't know if I want her back or not. But hopefully they can find some new wives in Salt Lake City of color
Yeah.
who, because they've been actually the most diverse cast so
Right.
far from the
Right.
start. So I would hate to see that kind of go away because some of these women are leaving. But I think we'll have Jen for a little while longer anyway.
Yeah, I don't want Mary back. I know that she provides a layer of, but I understand. I understand the TV she provides. But we've said this, like she skipped the most important thing to go to as a housewife for like a group gathering, which is the reunion. Like she doesn't have to answer to anybody's questions, and she gets to run the narrative how she wants to, which I think she's doing a poor job of on social media. And I just don't think that's fair because, like, what if she comes back and then she does all this dumb shit again and then skips the reunion again? Like, it's
Right.
No, I like when you have to own up to what you've done
Yes,
in
I
front of
agree.
everyone else. And Andy's sometimes okay questioning
Depends on
who you
what
are
city it
and
is.
like how much of a profit you bring to him.
Yep.
Do
And
we
what
have
the color of
anything?
your skin is. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Oops, I said it.
Minor detail. Just kidding. Major detail on Bravo that they like to ignore from time to time.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else we need to talk about in terms of Jenny?
No, she's out.
Yeah,
See ya.
so hi Jenny. I would like to make a connection to it and before we move on to like the actual TV show.
Yeah.
Is like where I need like bolder lines from Bravo. These lines are too faint for me. Luann can do blackface.
Well, that's the thing. Where do they exactly what you're saying? Like, where do they draw the line here?
Portia, I just watched the reunion for season 6. Like, hold Kenya down by her hair, and like she was supposed to come back the next season, but kind of didn't because she didn't have enough storyline or whatever that drama was. But she comes back later. Like, I don't what's the line here? What is it? I need to know because it's very confusing.
It's a very squiggly line, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Thin and like loop-de-loopy line.
Yeah, it's like a dotted line, kind of like. Never mind, I was about to like math this, but we don't need to do that right now. So yeah, I mean, Ramona said so much fucked up shit that like she not only still has a job, but she gets put on the first season of the All-Star cast, which I know she was like a big part of the storyline for everything, but still like she gets to make money off being a
awful
dumb racist like old white woman. Like why? That's what are we encouraging through that? And so I get frustrated by it because not because Jenny should still be around, it's because all of them should be gone. All the ones that have done things like this, like get them out.
Yep.
So
totally agree.
That's where I'm at with that. All right. Now the actual show. I think. Unless there's is there any other social I know that like Lisa and Meredith are currently like sub Instagram storying each other. Which is wild. But basically it's like don't trust what's the something in don't trust the sheep in a lion's coat. Don't trust the lion in a you know what I mean.
The wolf in sheep's clothing?
Yeah,
Is that what she's yeah.
Wolf, wrong animal. Damn. I work with numbers. I can't speak. And it's like, don't you stab me in the back, but not saying who you is and whatever.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah. But in our show, like we own it,
our show.
We are back in Zion and they're on their vacation being paid for by the husbands for Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. So it picks back up at the dinner that they were having. And so at the dinner, Whitney did what she said she was going to do. Because I rewatched the episode before and this one thinking that we were talking about the one before. It's fine. I did. Today was a much needed lay in bed and watch a whole bunch of Real Housewives today. So Whitney said to Jen, she's like, I will bring everything up at dinner. Like, do not worry about it. I promise I will. And Whitney lived up to her promises. She brought up just kind of like what was like the tension between Meredith and Lisa, Meredith and Jen, Jen and Lisa, Mary kinda, Meredith the most though. Meredith was
Mhm.
really like under the detective light, like where were you
Yeah.
on December 3rd type of thing.
Yep.
And Meredith stormed off once, Mary got her to come back, but the big thing that got me is how like how hooked on the idea that Jen Shah got, that it was Meredith and Mary who like ratted her out to the FBI and the feds.
Yeah. This
I
whole thing is like so bizarre to me.
It feels like Jen is trying to latch on to anything that will take the direct attention off of like, so wait, did she scam elderly people out of money? Did she do this?
Right.
Uh and she very much jumped on the idea of, well, they weren't on the van the first time or the second time. It must have been they must have known. Um but dinner was, I don't know, did they even like finish dinner?
All of this is like, and I know we talked about this last time, but this show just doesn't make sense to me anymore. It's just
Mhm.
like frantic, chaotic energy with people storming off and then storming back on and crying and storming off and coming back on and screaming. And like none of it is rooted in anything. It's all just insanity. Like, obviously, Meredith and Mary did not call the feds on Jen. Do they understand how law enforcement works and the fact that they like probably were tracking her for a really long time? Like, didn't somebody say that this is a 9-year long investigation?
Yeah.
What are we doing here, ladies? Like, let's use our brains for 2 seconds and realize, like, oh, actually, like, these are gigantic, like, federal law agencies and they have resources to figure out. Also, like, you're on a TV show and like you're filming there. So why are we not thinking that like someone called producers or something? Like there's a very easy way that they could have figured out that you were at Beauty Lab and Laser, and it's not Meredith and Mary.
But this is the exact reason why Whitney would be so good on any sort of like social strategy show, is
So
because
sad that we didn't get her.
she she just was like, they weren't on the van both times. Who else could have done this except them? And
Right.
everyone else was like, you are so correct, Whitney. But Whitney is like not getting blamed for this at all. Like Jen Shaw is screaming at Jenny, being like, you said this. And Whitney's just like, Meredith, how do you think I felt that you went with Mary, who was mean to me, like totally on
I
her own, like little drunk tirade?
blackout drunk
She
tirade. I
was
mean,
so
like
drunk.
she was not with us. She was not with
No,
us. She was on another planet, alone, all by herself. And Mary's just
no,
like,
she was
nope,
with
I'm
like
not having
Captain
this.
Morgan. She
Yes.
was with Johnny Walker.
Yes. Yes. She was
She was
with.
with Jack Daniels.
Yep.
She had a motley crew, but it wasn't anyone
No, no one on this
from Salt
show.
Lake City.
No, no.
Yeah, she was hammered by the end of that. Um, but so yeah, we get a lot of screaming, whatever. But we get Jen going and talking to Meredith after dinner, and they kind of like sort things out a bit.
Well, and Jen kind of like alluded to this at the table and was like, I came and had a conversation with Brooks and I came and did that. And it's like, we were fine. And then, and that's my question too. Like, where in the timeline did this all go wrong? Because there was an apology, seemed like the apology was accepted. Jen got arrested, and then Meredith's like, don't put her in the same room as me. And Whitney did bring up this like rumor that's going around that they
Mhm.
both like hooked up with the same man in New York or something. But it didn't get any attention at all on the show. She just like mentioned it in an interview on like
I
one of
do.
her confessionals. And like
It
they
has to be
never.
coming up. It has to be coming up because
Yeah, I would be
I don't
surprised if
think
they
they,
included it and we don't hear anything about it.
right, like the Survivor like winners edit
Yep.
view in me thinks like there's a reason that this confessional was put in for
Yeah.
Whitney because something's gonna come up about this. And I think it kind of ties into like the hot mic thing that we see later in the in the preview.
I think so too.
I do think that it became a lot easier for um Meredith to like fall back into hating Jen when she got arrested. But I don't know if anything substantial happened, although I think it is substantial enough with just, like, how much Jen is playing the victim in all of
Mm,
this, that I know if it was me being like, "You did all these dirty, shady things to my family, and you are sitting here being like, 'Why does no one care about me? I'm the one that got arrested.'" Like,
yeah,
well, you got arrested because 'cause you're shady and you do illegal shit to vulnerable
right,
populations, that's why.
right.
Um so they basically have a conversation where Jen Shaw says, like, "Did you rat me out? Did you know anything was gonna happen that day?" And it was absolutely not. But then the idea, which is gonna, I think, come up in the next episode of, well, the girls are speculating that you didn't actually have a memorial for your dead grandfather, right?
Father.
Father. I knew it was one.
Oh, did we lose Carrie? We may have lost Carrie momentarily. But yes, the women are somehow speculating, or it seems like it's going to come up next week, that, or I don't remember. I guess Lisa and Heather have a conversation, but I don't know. It's all very confusing around this like memorial conversation. So we'll see where it goes. And it sounds like Lisa's kind of stirring the pot there a little bit, but it does sound like they were on the bus and they were speculating that maybe she didn't actually have this memorial. But oh, is Carrie back?
I think so. I'm the only one in the house, so Wi-Fi should be fine. I'm, like, tempted to move into the living room, um, but that would be a scene, so we'll just hope for the best.
Fingers crossed.
I'll stay here like this the whole time. Maybe I should just hold this again. Okay. Uh, yeah, so I think I was able to hear some of what you were saying, is that next time there's more conversation of, like, well, she said that the memorial was on Monday. No, she said it was on Tuesday. Like, did you make up this memorial so you wouldn't have to be with us when this all went down?
Also, like, who cares though? Who cares?
Yeah, I just, well, what it again, like, goes exactly to everything you've been saying of, like, there has to be something else that they all know that we don't know that
Yeah.
they won't say, and just, like, fucking say it already.
Yeah, and that's why the
Connect
show
the
is so
dots.
frustrating because it's obviously like there's a narrative on the show and then there's reality, and reality is completely disconnected from what's going on in the show. So nothing that is happening that we're watching makes any sense.
Yeah.
And it all feels like it's just like it's like a facade that they're putting on to make these arguments make sense, but they don't make sense.
Mhm.
Like they all have these agreements to not talk about things on camera or something like that.
Well, speaking of, later in the night, which we don't see, Lisa goes to Meredith's room at, like, 3 in the morning to console her, which, like, I know the only consoling I want done at 3 in the morning is me sleeping, like,
Yeah, let
but
my sleep console me.
yeah. And so she tells Meredith this idea that the girls think that she made up this memorial so she wouldn't have to be on the van with them. To which the next morning, 8 a.m., Meredith goes full fucking juggernaut on this house. Like,
I don't
she,
understand this either personally. Why are
like,
you so angry when as you wake up? Like, wouldn't you be angry the night before?
I don't know. I guess it's, does she go and, like, wake everyone up at 3 in the morning, or does she sit there and stew on it for 5 hours and then wakes everyone up at 8 in the morning?
It just seems like she came in real hot for finding this information out a couple of hours ago. Like it feels like she like just heard it and then was
Mhm.
reacting to it instead of like sitting on it for a little while and then waking up and still being angry, but like waiting until, coming down and being like, so what the fuck? I heard that she didn't do that. She was like, "Ah," and she was like freaking out. So it just seemed
I'll
very
just
straight.
go
Like,
call the CIA.
yeah, I mean, like she was unhinged. And I was
Yeah.
like, that felt like it was very fresh to me. I don't know. Again, it's just like none of the timeline of anything makes any sense to me.
If I were to guess, she called Brooks at
Mm,
7:30 in the morning and was like, "So, I know I talked to you last night at, like, 11 when before Jen came into my room.
mhm.
Well, let me update you on what's happened since then." And then Brooks is like, "Light the house on fire," in his
Yeah,
very
maybe,
monotone voice, you know what I mean? Like,
maybe.
there has to be something that encouraged, or maybe she talked to her husband or something, like, a conversation we didn't see that, or maybe it was even with a producer. I could see a producer being like, "You're gonna let this just roll over your,
Maybe,
like,
yeah.
roll off your back? No. Go tell everyone what you're thinking of them." you're just gonna let them continue to walk all over you. Like maybe that was it. Something had to have happened to like light that fire.
Yeah.
However, she like rampages and then is like, no, I'll stay and be your friend.
And like everybody's like hiding from her. Hungover Heather and Whitney and Jen are like hiding in bed together with what was the candy that Jen had in her hand?
Oh my
Like
God, sugar babies.
sugar babies. Thank you. Yes. It was like a very weird candy that
I
like
remember
no
being
one
like,
eats.
I've had those before, but I don't remember what they are.
No, they're like, yeah, I didn't even know they still made them.
Yeah, same. I can't tell you what they are, but I know I've
No,
had
no
them.
idea what they are.
I did love how Heather was like, well, you know, Jen, out of the three of us, she hates you the most, so we're gonna sacrifice you
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Like she's the penguin that gets pushed in by the rest to make sure there's no
Yeah.
seals there to eat them. Bye, Jen.
Hmm.
But she's like, no, she kind of likes me now. I think we figured it out. Who knows? But yeah, they somehow managed to get Meredith to not leave. And Heather's like, yeah, I won't be Meredith's friend if she leaves. We're gonna go connect with nature. To which, like, from that point, I feel like a total 180 happened within the temperament of
Yep.
everyone. I don't know what. Maybe everyone got a gummy.
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe.
like
Maybe.
what was, because even Jenny made a comment. She's like, I want whatever Meredith is on, because she was just down here yelling and now all of a sudden she's like, everybody, let's be friends. Like
Yeah.
whatever she's got, whatever drugs she has up there, let me take them.
Which I
I
mean,
kind
fuck
of
Jenny,
agree.
but I believe 100% that Meredith is on something at all times.
Yeah, I think she has to be.
Yeah.
To wear that orange, like
Oh,
boob separating shirt in
I know I
itself
talked about it last
requires.
time and her outfits, but like I can't. I can't.
So, in my opinion, like the rest of the episode, not that's like not noteworthy or anything, but there's
It's
not
kind of
really
not.
any drama that's worth like us dragging out.
Yeah, what did they go rock climbing and
Oh,
it looks
okay. I
very
think either,
dangerous.
yeah,
Are you good? We're all
one of them
good?
wore Louboutins. Am
Yes.
I cut out
Or
again?
no, I can hear
Okay.
you okay. You can hear me okay?
Okay. Okay. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. It was just a weird little glitch. I'm currently like holding the like Wi-Fi connector thing in my hand, like
Oh.
we're boyfriend and girlfriend. We're gonna go on a date and
That's
watch a
sweet.
movie after
That's
this.
sweet.
Yeah, it's like a first date right now. So,
I hope it's going
um,
well.
yeah, listen, I hope he makes a move after. Anyway, so uh yeah, they went hiking, and then I thought that their, like, house party was fun when it
Yeah.
was, like, Whitney and Jen Shah being like, "We have to keep the momentum going, like, we can't
Yeah.
let the energy die," and it's like, "We're going to Club Zion," and Heather's like, I thought, like, the only time I'm dancing on a pole is to try and have sex afterwards, and that's not happening here.
Yeah.
Heather's
They did seem
funny.
like they had a
Heather's
really
funny.
Heather is funny. They did seem like they had a really good time. They were drinking wine out of these, like, chalice things. I mean, they were, like, really going
Yes.
in. And they all woke up in bed together, like, Jen and Meredith woke up in bed together or in the same room together.
I think it was Meredith and Lisa in one bed, and then it was,
Yeah, Jen and Whitney?
Jen, Whitney, and Heather. Was Heather in that
I
one?
don't
She
think
might have
Heather
been,
was in
and
the room at that
maybe
point.
not. Yeah, but
But it
there
was,
was,
like,
like, a
kinda
lot of,
nice to see them getting along at that point and, like, having a good time together. Seems like it's about to be short-lived, but also, again, Meredith with
yeah.
the feathers, like, it needs to stop. It needs to stop.
I don't
She's
even
endangering full
remember.
bird. She had, like, this other crazy feather outfit on.
Nitro has finally made his appearance.
Hi, Nitro. Our
Hi,
third
buddy.
host.
Yeah, he's here. He also hates the feathers. He agrees.
I
No
can tell.
feathers. My roommate is not here, and so when he is not here, Nitro gets like extra protective, and so
Oh.
any noise he just like goes off. So thanks for leaving, Brett. You did nothing for me. I'm just kidding. He's at Royal Rumble right now, so
Oh, having a
yeah,
time.
yeah, he's a big wrestling fan. Him and his friend will
Nice.
like travel for wrestling,
Oh,
but
wow.
it leaves me with a barking dog. So um I think the thing we do need to mention, and I know we've kind of mentioned it a couple of times already, is that we saw it on the internet. Something happens that like changes the season. I don't know if this necessarily
Yes.
changes the season, but we see that Lisa is caught still on her microphone, just like saying out loud everything she thinks of Meredith. And
Yeah.
I think we're left to assume that Lisa didn't know that she was still on on her microphone based
I
off
think that
of the
she
internet
didn't
and
know.
the Oh! Did I cut out? Did I just
You're
yell into
good.
the
No,
microphone?
you yelled into the microphone, but you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think,
I
Lisa was
don't know
on.
why this is happening.
It's okay. Lisa was on Watch What Happens Live, and it sounded like she did not know that she was on camera, and no one else knew that that happened until they all watched those episodes. So we've been trying to figure out what it could be that was going to be this like shattering thing that they all found out before the reunion, and I think that this is it. And I saw a post of her full statement because I think all they showed on the preview was Lisa saying like, "I fucking hate Meredith. She's a fucking whore." And she like fucked all of New York or something like that. Maybe one or two other things, but it
Yeah.
was like mostly that. If the post of what she actually said is true, and I won't spoil it because we're gonna find out tomorrow, hopefully, it's true. It's a lot worse than just that. So she had a lot more to say. So we'll see it come out. But and Meredith is gonna be on Watch What Happens Live tomorrow after the episode airs. So we'll see what she has to say about that when she is on.
Oof. I'm excited.
I'm
Let's
excited too.
I mean, the whole thing's already on fire, so let's just pour some gasoline on it.
Yep. Just when we thought it couldn't get any more unhinged, it's about to.
Do we have anything else we need to say about Salt Lake City?
I don't think so. The season feels really long, but I feel like it's because it's taken a lot of breaks in between. So I'm kind of ready to
Yeah.
like wrap it up and see the reunion. Not that I'm not enjoying it, but it's just like a lot every week. And it's like I have to like take 10 deep breaths after I watch every episode and try and figure out what I just witnessed. Cause none of like I've been saying a million times, none of it makes any sense to me. So
Yeah, one of the reasons I do enjoy Housewives is because it's something that I can have on while I'm either like playing games on my phone and
Mhm.
just kind of like relaxing from the day, or like this past week, I was literally grading papers every single night until 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So like I
Oh,
would have Housewives on the background while I'm doing it. Um, but I can't do that with Salt Lake City. I have
yeah.
to like more or less give it my undivided attention
Mhm.
because there's just
So
so many
much.
gaps and so much like we have to fill in on our own that um it is a little overwhelming. I and when we were talking about this last time, I was like, how is there still like 5 or 6 episodes left? It
I
feels
don't
like this has been
know.
on for
It
so long.
truly does.
Mhm. But speaking of things that feel like they're dragging, Orange County.
We're here
I
back in Orange County.
Yeah, like this I don't know if this needs more than like 5 to 10 minutes of our time because it's
Probably
just
not.
not like good right now. So, what?
I wanna
Gina
say neither
begs.
one of us didn't even realize there was not an episode on this week. That's how we're feeling about it. So,
Yeah. I
yeah.
had to ask Katie because whenever I think that there's, like that Amazon has messed up telling me when there's an episode, she's like, "Nope, no episode this week." And both of us were like, "Wait, no episode
Yeah.
this week."
Yeah.
Uh, it just like nothing worthwhile is happening. And like, yeah, sure, they don't have anyone potentially going to jail or whatever, but I don't know. Noella is currently in the drama, and her drama annoys the fuck out of me. So
Yeah. I mean, we got a mid-season trailer
I think either
a little
I'm
while
frozen
ago.
again.
Oh, you might be frozen. You don't look frozen to me or sound frozen to me.
I was it this past episode? I am frozen. No, well, you look frozen, but like your eyes are closed and it looks like you're meditating in a beanie.
Oh, I wish I was meditating. No, I mean, not really because I'm having fun.
No, you're back.
But
You're
okay.
I
All good?
kind of want to just like yeah, I think so. I mean,
Okay.
it's fine. We don't have much more to talk about.
It's true. We don't. But we did get a mid-season trailer.
And
I don't know if you heard me. Can you hear
yeah,
me okay? Okay. And
I
it seems
did.
like
I did
maybe
hear that. I
things will
did.
be picking up, but like even still, it's like nothing that I really care that much about. So whatever. We'll see what
No, the
happens.
drama's gonna be yeah, the drama's gonna be like Emily, Heather. Gina of like Emily getting jealous of Gina and Heather's friendship. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yep. And I don't know that they even have a
So,
friendship. I feel like Gina is Heather's lackey.
ooh, like in Boy Meets World. That's what I think of when
Yeah.
I hear the word lackey, is like
Yeah.
Frankie, that big
Yeah,
guy.
exactly. Yeah. Mhm.
Um, I guess like a quick rundown, and I like even my rundown, I just felt like an asshole typing these things. So Gina asked Heather to invite Noella
Noella. Mhm.
to
Which, like,
Cabo
of
because
course, this is what I complained about last time. It's like, it's a
Mhm.
cast trip. The whole cast has to go. We knew
Yeah,
that Noella was going to come eventually. So, like, I guess they had to make it seem like Gina had to beg, but
yeah. Although Noella giving Heather's daughter like the raunchy gift at her book
yeah.
launch, like
I wonder
Noella,
if she
you're
knew.
asking for
Do you think she
trouble.
knew?
Even if she didn't know, is it worth the risk of like where or it's just so is it brazen the word
Yeah,
of
I guess
like
so.
I don't give a fuck even if it is this way, like I'm going to give it to her and if she doesn't like me then so be it. Like no, it just wasn't a good decision.
Yeah. Part of me doesn't feel like she meant anything like bad by it. Maybe she saw it in the store and thought like, "Oh, this is cute because she's just came out or whatever, so I'll get her these what was it, like a card game or cards or something." And
Yeah.
maybe she didn't know how like rated R they were. And also like 17's not that young. But I get it. Like I get it. Shannon seemed to think she was on Watch What Happens Live as well, and she was like she definitely didn't know what she was giving her. There was like no malintent behind it. So depends if you believe Shannon or not.
Yeah.
You know, I'm now again a ride or die for Shannon. I was and then I wasn't. Now I'm back. I'm back.
Her only like ally right now is really Noella, so
Yeah,
I
me and
guess
Noella riding hard for for Shannon. That's it.
what a duo.
What a duo.
um
Tres Amigas, the sequel.
Wow, you know what? I hope that Vicky and Tamra hear that because I think they would be offended.
They probably would, which is fine. It's fine with me.
So once they're in Cabo, like they each get their own little like casacita. It's very nice. The next day, I think it's basically like a chill day. So Emily, Gina, Shannon basically get drunk riding horses, and
Mhm.
like might be sexually attracted to Emily, and that's
I
okay.
think she might be. Yeah.
I support it. But she
Yeah.
was describing Emily on the horse like it was the beginning scene of a porno, like
Yes.
straight up.
Yes. I mean,
Uh,
good for them.
yeah, I mean, listen, live your life as long as you're happy and you're not scamming the elderly or making racist comments.
Right.
Like,
Then, like, you know what? Find your friend hot. Yeah, it's fine.
you're probably fine.
Yeah.
Um, Heather had like a dream that her kids were like talking about her like she was dead.
This
So,
was the strangest thing ever.
I mean, I know that when I have dreams like that, I go and buy a house in Cabo as well. That's my So she said she wanted to like have something for her kids to go to and like be together for like when her and Terry are dead. And so that's the reasoning for this purchase, which like it must be nice to have that type of money.
Or maybe she's just bored and feels like now that she built a house in the United States, she has to build one in Mexico.
Is
But
she building
like
or buying?
she put out that big like
Yeah.
blueprint or whatever or like floor plan of this house. It seemed like she was like they were custom building another house, but it's just very strange. Like they were looking at something in her dream saying mom would have loved this, so she assumed that she was dead in her kid's dream and now she has to build this house so they have a place to go. But like newsflash, Heather, your kids are going to be fucking rich when you and Terry die too. So they can go anywhere they want. You don't need to build them a house. They can go
Right.
anywhere they want. They're probably going to sell it. They don't need you to build them a house for when you're dead. Like they're going to have your money when you're dead. So they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Stupid
Yes.
storyline.
I just I thought it was so weird. I like I don't know. I like my dad is 65 or so, and so like a recent it was like 2 or 3 Thanksgivings ago, like the closest we've ever gotten to this was my dad being like, "Hey, so your brother is going to be like the executor or whatever the word is, basically like, in
Oh,
charge of all the
yeah.
paperwork and all that stuff." Because like I live in Chicago, they live in Connecticut, and I'm like, okay, that's fine by me. Like the less I have to do, the better. And he's like, you do have one responsibility though. And I was like, tell me. He goes, well, if your mom and I like get in an accident together or something, and we have to like if we both need the decision of like pulling the plug or not, that's yours and not Trevor, because Trevor's too much of a pussy to do it himself. And my
Oh my
brother's sitting
God.
right there, and he was just like,
Oh my God.
that's right. That's right. So, like, my parents are thinking
That's a
about that.
that's a
They're not
tall
thinking about
ask.
buying me a house in Cabo. Oh, they know I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Oh my God.
So,
Oh my God.
no, my mom and I have, like, talked about it. She's like, "I don't
Yeah.
wanna just, like" she's
No.
pull it.
Yeah.
She's like, "Just pull your father's first so I lived longer than him." That's literally what she said. So, but yeah, like, my parents don't talk to me about houses in Cabo, about, like, the potential of them dying in the future. It's just like, kill us both, pull the
Right.
plug, that's it.
Right.
So, uh, I should show this clip of this to them and be like, "Be more like Heather Dubrow. Buy me a house."
Yeah. Build me a home in Cabo so I have somewhere to go when you and dad are dead.
Yeah, so me and Trevor have somewhere to go and remember you.
Yeah.
um, they try to give us a little bit of like Dr. Jen storyline. So between she had
Forgot
like
she
a
even
leg
existed.
tumor in her 20s and she has to do like daily leg exercises. Um, and we kind of get a little bit more insight that like her marriage is kind of awful.
Yeah, and it seems like in the mid-season trailer that they get separated perhaps or something.
Yeah.
Ryan, whose real name is Ryan and never wears a shirt and is obsessed with his weird little chihuahua. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't really care
Yeah.
about either one of them. Like I don't care. Stay
Yeah.
together, separate, I don't care. I don't even know
It's
you.
also worth mentioning that we probably saw the last of Nicole because
Oh, yes, we did.
Nicole
Yeah.
said if Noella went on the trip, she's not going, but there's also, like, rumors that she was, like, difficult to work with and something
Yeah,
else happened with
she
her and they didn't want her, like, continuing with the cast.
I don't know why she's not on the show anymore, but it is official that she is no longer going to be on the show. But I don't there yeah, it has something to do with production, but like I don't know the full story. Which like
Yeah.
I guess bye to Nicole. I mean, the whole thing is weird, but people were saying it has nothing to do with um her situation with Heather. So, who knows?
I
Whatever.
mean,
Bye, I guess.
she brought more than Dr. Jen did, but I'm not,
Yeah.
like
She brought cheese in a
I don't
suitcase and like was really weird to Noella when she was having a breakdown.
Yes, very strange, like,
Yeah.
"Stop crying, you're
While
embarrassing
looking like a
me. I don't
full-on
care that you
clown.
got divorced."
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She dated Kid Rock, leave her alone. Uh,
True. It's true.
that's her claim to fame. And the only, like, real drama we had this episode was the last few minutes where well, first, like, Noella misses her flight because she doesn't realize she has to bring, like, an actual passport to, sorry, I was reading comment. She didn't bring her actual passport, but maybe, like, a passport card to the airport because she's so used to flying on a private jet. Like, I could
Don't you
not
still need a
handle
passport if you fly in a
how
private jet?
probably, like, otherwise, aren't we
I would
just gonna have people
imagine.
flying in and out of the country? Yeah. I don't know. She just the the way that she's like, "I'm just not used to being this, like, normal citizen." Like, "Shut up,
Right.
Noella."
Yeah, shut up.
Um, but she gets there late, she's mad that, like, no one was waiting for her at the house, and she gets to dinner, and she clashes a little bit with Heather at dinner, like but not, like, actually clashes, it's all, like, passive clashing because like,
Mhm.
Gina and Emily kinda give her the heads up of like, "Hey," you can kinda tell that Heather is annoyed that, like, you aren't eating your meal or whatever, and Noelle's like, "I'll eat what I wanna eat," type of thing, but
I
it's
don't
all just like
disagree. I don't disagree.
yeah, yeah, I agree with you, but that's really it. Like, that's all
Yeah,
OC is
that's the whole
offering, like,
show. That's the
Noelle's
whole
not
show.
eating her potatoes.
Yeah. That's the drama.
That's it. So
We'll see what happens this
I'm
week.
hoping that this mid-season trailer means, like, we're already halfway through, even though it's only episode, like, 7, I think.
Yeah, it seems like we might have a shortened season this season. I know New
Fine
Jersey
by
often
me.
gets more shorter seasons than other cities too, which is a true crime in itself because New
Mhm.
Jersey is always incredible. But maybe they're doing that with OC too, which is fine. It's fine with me. It's totally fine.
Yeah. More importantly, we have 2 housewives on Celebrity Big Brother coming up.
Yes, we do.
However, do we care that Teddi Mellencamp is one of them?
Do I care because that means I have to see more Teddi Mellencamp on my television and on the live feeds? Yes. Do I care like because I'm like, yay, Teddi? No. Like I don't ever want to have to see her ever again. But here we are. Us Big Brother
Mhm.
fans are going to be made to suffer through more. Our crossover Big Brother and Housewives fans are going to be made to suffer through the Teddy that we know and hate.
Yeah. Sasha, who is a fellow silent podcaster, she messaged me and was like, "Tell me anything you know about Teddi Mellencamp," and I was like, "Honestly, ask Katie."
Yes, she
I
did message me. She told me that you sent her my way. And I gave her probably too much. I was thinking about it and I was like, I just was like nonstop, like da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da, and like sending her like video. And I was like, I'm sorry, I promise you I will not message you anymore about Teddi Mellencamp. Like I didn't realize how passionately I hated Teddi Mellencamp until Sasha messaged me and asked me for some background. But she did a great job
I
on the deep dive, the cast deep dive that she did yesterday.
good.
Yeah.
And you contributed. So I'm proud of you, and our podcast was
Yeah.
adjacently represented. Yeah, I told
Exactly.
her like my superpower is watching a TV show and then forgetting everything that happened in it. Like
Oh
once
yeah.
once I've watched the season, it's out of my mind. Like the only show I really retain is The Challenge, and that's it.
Oh yeah, okay. That's fair. The only show I really retained is Housewives, so it was the perfect question for me. But I also am a really big, I mean, Lisa Vanderpump is my favorite housewife of all time.
Right.
So I hate Teddy on her behalf specifically.
Mhm.
And that season I relitigate in my mind all the time and I get mad about it all over again. So
I
fuck
might have to
Teddy
go back and
basically.
watch it. It was the first series that I watched out of Housewives, so
Oh yeah.
I've seen a lot of episodes of Housewives since I've seen Teddi Mellencamp on my TV.
That's good. It's
So,
like a nice palate cleanser. Get her out of there.
yeah. I am actually excited about Cynthia, though. I think that if we get, like, Housewives Cynthia and not, our Hugtit, Cynthia,
Yeah.
we she could do well. She connects well with people.
I just don't know. I don't know. I guess just I'm tainted from her from Girls Trip and like how much of a stick in the mud that she was and how she was so possessive over Kenya. And like, Sasha and I talked a little bit about this too, through DMs when we were talking about Teddy and, the Housewives connection and all that. She's always been like that with her friends. She's always possessive. She gave the friendship contract. She just is very
Mhm.
like territorial. And I feel like if she makes really close alliances in the house and then they either start making other alliances or, making connections with other people, she's going to like have a downward spiral. And she doesn't do well with conflict. She just gets very like, I don't know. She just always wants to talk it out and she annoys people and it just feels like it's never truly dead. So I don't know. I think it depends. She has two
But
sides.
that's the thing is, I think if it was like Cynthia Bailey in a normal, like, and then everyone else was like a regular human being, but I feel like she's in there with 10 other people who think that they're celebrities. So like
Hmm.
all of them have these like magnified personalities and to an extent probably flaws that might even be similar in a way that like I
Yeah.
think that she might be able to get by cuz she's always struck me as like at least reasonable, level-headed, like down to earth for being like a beautiful model and celebrity. Like she's that's why I think she can do well because I think she can actually fly a little bit under the radar cuz she isn't as like it's not Nene going in there. It's not Kenya going in there. Like
Unfortunately.
she gets
Unfortunately.
to fly. Yeah, right? That would have been good.
Both of them. Well,
Um,
Nene was heavily rumored, and so was Erica Jane actually, but I knew that wasn't happening because they're filming. Um, but there were a few housewives
yeah.
rumored, and we got really kind of the bottom of the barrel. But I like Cynthia. It's not that I dislike her. I think, to your point, I think like she was in that house with a lot of other um, housewives for Girls Trip, and she like
Mhm.
couldn't get it together. And I feel like it's going to be like similar energy where
Yeah.
they all have like main character syndrome in the Big Brother house. And like, I feel like she's
Mhm.
not going to be able to get it together. Where in Atlanta, people had such big
Mhm.
personalities that it was easy for her to kind of like just chill and be like the neutral one. I don't know. We'll see. I
Yeah.
think it could go either way. I do.
Yeah.
I just hope I
So,
hope she doesn't plan any games that people have a problem with because she's just never going to let it go. Or like, I hope, people eat her potato salad when she makes it because she'll be really upset if they don't eat it. Come to the Bailey queue and
um,
participate in the Bailey games, the Bailey Bowl, and we'll be okay. But if you don't, then you're going to
I
have a
just
problem.
saw yeah, I've only experienced one Bailey Bowl so far, and it's when, Marlo and Nene go at it, so
Mm.
I haven't experienced the potato salad thing yet, but I know
Well,
it's
that was in
coming.
Girls Trip.
Oh, right, duh,
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Well, it all
Um,
blends together.
yes, the
Everything
potato
blends
salad.
together.
Yes, it really does.
Hmm.
Um, I was on for whatever reason, I looked Candy up on Instagram today,
Yeah.
and she's cool with Todrick, so I
Oh,
wonder
interesting.
if those 2, because Candy posted, like, "Hope my girl Cynthia does well in Big Brother," and she's like and then a separate post, like, "I hope Todrick," like so
Hmm.
I wonder if they have that, like, pre-game connection, which could
Maybe.
help because Todrick seems to, like, know the game, and so if
Yeah.
he takes her under his wing, then, like, I think she also stands a chance where
Yeah.
I think so I don't know. I saw that today, and that made me be like, I wonder," and
Yeah.
hopefully
I
Teddy
think.
is gone first
I
boot.
hope. Well, so I was thinking about it, and I first was like, Teddy's gonna be gone. She can't get along with anybody except for Kyle Richards. And then I was like, oh wait, Kyle Richards is really good friends with Carson Kressley. So Carson Kressley also in the Big Brother house. So I don't know if Teddy and Carson know each other, but Carson and Kyle are really good friends from when they were on The Apprentice together. So if I mean, I
Oh,
don't know because they're all sequestered before, so they don't know who the cast is going to be. But like, if there was potentially any pre gaming and Kyle knows about it, she probably was like, connect with Carson. He's my guy,
yeah,
unless they already know each other, which they could. So I wouldn't be surprised if they
yeah.
link up. And Kyle and Cynthia had their drama on Girls Trip, so like, is that going to carry over to Teddy and Cynthia, or are they going to be cool?
Maybe.
Like, will they just
Yeah.
have a Housewives connection? I don't know. They might already know each other. Like, who knows?
We shall see. And that is on Wednesday. So we'll have a little bit of
Mhm.
like Housewives on Celebrity Big Brother chat on here too, on our cold
Yeah.
water show.
And my Super Bowl,
But
Real Houses of New Jersey, is coming on Tuesday. So there's so much happening.
woo,
So much happening.
Tuesday. Shit.
I think the first
I
is
need to get through Atlanta. Yeah, that's Tuesday.
yeah.
All right, sweet. So that means we got 3 shows we're covering, 3.25 shows with Celebrity Big Brother.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's more like 3 because Orange County is like
It's barely a
0.75 of a
show.
show. So,
Yeah, it's barely a show.
yeah, still
Sad.
something I have
Sad
to
they couldn't
watch.
get it together.
Yeah. Yes. We quickly mentioned, I think at the beginning, but I don't know if we like said it. Erica Jane's like case is
Mm,
being dismissed, but is going to be refiled. So there's still some Erica Jane drama going
yep.
on. If it wasn't like clearly stated, but the lawyers on Twitter basically were like, no, we're refiling in California. So don't think she's off the hook yet.
Yeah. Also been reading a
And I
lot of
know,
like potential drama that's taking place this season, and we might be actually getting a good season of Beverly Hills coming up, which so I'm like ready for it. A lot of
let's
fighting, it
get
sounds
it.
like. A lot of
Perfect. We
fighting.
love fighting.
Love fighting.
Anything else we need to talk about in terms of our universe here?
I don't think so. I'm very excited for New Jersey. It's
I
going to be a
think
breath of fresh. I'm really excited for it.
well, you are going to have to guide us on New Jersey because that's
Happy
the one
to.
series I haven't gotten to yet. So I
I'm
will
happy to.
watch it, but I know that this is
They're my
your
girls.
like main that's your favorite. Teresa, yes. So
Yeah. Potomac is my true favorite, but this
well,
is like my
let
OG favorite all time.
makes sense. Potomac is so good. It's
Yeah.
just quality. I really like Atlanta.
Atlanta's great too.
Atlanta's good. Yeah. I just started season 7 this afternoon. So It's right after Portia tried to fight Kenya, and I don't know if Apollo is still in the picture because don't they get divorced?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I looked up if they were still together at one point, and then like
Oh no,
at the
you'll see it
reunion,
all
he had
play out.
perfect. I can't wait then.
You'll see
So,
it all.
all right. Well, Katie, what are you doing on the internet these days?
What am I doing on the internet these days? You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/realslimkatie with an underscore at the end, or on Twitter at realslimkatie with no underscore. Those are the two places that I hang out mostly on the internet, streaming a couple of games and got to figure out my schedule for Big Brother because it's going to be a lot happening all over the place. It kind of takes over my life here, but that's okay. But yeah, you can catch me there or tweeting. That's about
Weren't
it.
you
Nothing that
recently a
exciting.
cactus?
I was a cactus, yes. Recently played, in a Fall Guys tournament. Didn't make it to the second round, but that's okay. Was on team with, one of our faves, Jenny Autumn. The
Mm.
tournament was run by Puya of RHAP, and, it was a lot of fun. I was very excited to be included, and Jenny and I just, we were there for a good time and not a long time. But it was great. We had a good time.
Happens to the best of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, it was great.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Both are currently private because I'm on the hunt for a job. So don't need future employers seeing all the dumb things I say and do, which is really just Wordle at this point. And uh, I was introduced to a Taylor Swift Wordle today, but I'm not putting that on the timeline. However, if you want the link, it's just look up Taylordle. So Taylor Dole.
Oh, boy.
I did even set my phone back a day, like date time, so that I could do the first one, which was yesterday, because I found the link today. So I just wanted to see. So yeah, I'm not doing anything interesting because it was finals week, and all I've been doing is teaching and grading and tutoring, and so I'm now back into getting into the Housewives because it's been absent from my life for the last week. I'm ready for
Well,
it. I
bless
did
you.
tweet last night about Housewives. What? Fucking Velvet had to go and die on a Friday night. I'm sitting here sobbing at my computer listening to Kenya
Oh my
describe
God,
how her dog
Velvet.
died.
I
I'm like
know.
staring at Nitro.
I know.
She
Poor
had to go and
Velvet.
fuck up my Friday night, man. I was mad.
No.
I was sad and I was mad. I'm like looking at Nitro, just like, don't you ever die on me. I felt very bad for Kenya as
Yeah,
a
that was so
avid dog
sad.
lover.
So sad.
Yes.
Also, one quick,
All right, let's do
I was
go
gonna say,
for it.
speaking of just like unrelated to Housewives whatsoever, just started binging Joe Millionaire today. So worth it. Just want to let everybody know who's not watching Joe Millionaire. You should be. It's like the best trash reality TV. It's like everything you want The Bachelor to be, but The Bachelor takes itself too seriously. So it's like it goes there and it's just good.
Now, this is probably a dumb question, but like the Joe Millionaire that just came out, right? And not like the one from
The
the
current Joe
late.
Millionaire. Yeah. Hmm.
I did watch the first one. I don't remember what happened because I was like 10, but um
This one's a good
I
one.
did watch
If
the
you have
first
some free
one.
time, I recommend. Want to just put a PSA out
Well,
there. I
as
don't
you
know that a
know,
lot of people are watching it, and you should be. It's good.
I get very like there's so many shows I want to watch right now, but my
I know.
brain won't let me watch other things. Like I really want to watch Abbott Elementary. I've heard
Oh,
such
I heard
good
that's
things
good.
about it. And like as a teacher, sometimes teaching shows just like portray us in the worst light and are just frustrating to watch. And so I've heard from other teachers that this is actually like very good. And I've been a Quinta Bronson fan ever since she did that video for BuzzFeed when she like Millie rocked across the country and she was like walking from the
Oh,
pyramids going really fast. I just think
yeah.
of her when I like that's what I think of. But she's like the main character and I think she's like created the show. So
Oh,
I
nice.
trust
Okay.
her. I've heard great things, but I can't my brain won't let me off of Real Housewives
I
until I'm
know.
done. And so I just wish I could watch on like 2 times speed like it was a podcast, but I can't. So oh, I'll get there eventually. But yes, I told you I really want to watch Below Deck
Yeah.
because I've caught like random episodes. It's great because it's like one of the shows that or Bravo's one of the channels that Southwest has like for free in-flight TV.
Oh yeah.
And then so like half of the time it's Below Deck is like the show that they're showing on Bravo, and I'm like, hell yeah, because you can just pick up an episode of that
Yeah,
and
you
like
really
you can
can.
kind of figure out what's going.
Yeah,
So
you can.
but I do really want to watch that. There's just so much and there's not enough time. I need a job that doesn't require so much effort. So anyway, but with that being said, we're gonna round this out. We're on all the social medias, maybe some, not all. We're on Instagram yet. Isaiah, get on that. But we're on YouTube, Silent Podcast. We are on Twitter at silent_podcast. And we're on Twitch for Silent Podcast. Subscribe so you can get notifications when we go live. If you get those notifications, you would have seen that last night Isaiah went live with Hannah from Big Brother. They talked
Hannah
about
Chava.
Euphoria. And so expect us to be pulling some bigger names. I'm actually, so like we're at the end of this. I'm going to like a watch party type of thing. I don't want to call it like a watch party, but someone in Chicago is having people over to watch Celebrity Big Brother. And like, I don't normally like going to these things, especially because, and this person will listen to this, the person hosting it, I just like don't like. But these people,
It's amazing.
these people always hang out with like Big Brother people. So I'm purposefully going to network and try to get people on the podcast.
Well,
So
if anybody likes Real Housewives, I think Hannah likes the Real Housewives. So if she ever wants to come talk Housewives with us, would love to have her.
Ooh, okay. Well, there's a chance because Hannah lives in Chicago that she'll be there because this is the group that like she's like 40% of the reason I'm going. Not that I like followed this last season of Big Brother via Twitter versus like watching it. So she was my favorite to follow on Twitter. So I'm hoping she's there, and if that's the case, maybe we can pull that. And some other people too. But that's literally why I'm going, because the woman who is hosting this, I can't stand. So I am sucking it up for our podcast. She's not.
I love it.
She's not. And the person who invited me knows I'm not a big fan of her. So I told her I'd be on my best behavior. But that's it. That's where we're at. We've rounded up the universe. And we'll be back next time with 3 shows and some Celebrity Big Brother too. See how our housewives are doing.
Jam-packed.
But yes, sincerely. But until then, enjoy your life, maybe your time, your whatever you're doing the rest of your weekend. I don't know when you listen to this, just enjoy. And we will catch you next time. Again, on behalf of Silent Podcast, we're anything but silent. Adios.
Bye.